Yippee-ki-yay, movie lovers, it's time to rank the Die Hard movies. The action franchise has now spanned an impressive 30 years and it might still be going, and for the most part these films have been pretty good. It made a star out of actor Bruce Willis and it redefined what an action movie can be. It's not always just about flying bullets and big fight scenes. Sadly, this franchise never really knew when to call it quits. The fact that it is still going on, technically speaking, is a problem. It never knew when to go back to basics and it never really knew when to try something different. And when it did try something a little different, it failed big time. So, from worst to best, in my opinion, here are the Die Hard movies ranked. So, the most recent Die Hard movie, A Good Day to Die Hard, is, in my opinion, by far the worst film in the Die Hard franchise. Hell, I would even go as far as say it's one of the worst films ever made. I absolutely hate this film. It brings back an older Bruce Willis, this time as he's on vacation in Russia, something that the film and he tries to hammer through constantly throughout the film. He gets in contact with his CIA son. Yes, after 5 films, he now mysteriously has a son out of nowhere. And perhaps coincidentally, his son happens to be some sort of CIA secret spy soldier thing.
Jack! Dad?
It's ridiculous, it's cheesy, it's out of nowhere, and it's at odds with all of the themes of the previous movies in the franchise.
Dad, just try not to make an even bigger mess of things.
Gone are the days when Bruce Willis's John McClane was just a cop in the wrong place at the wrong time. Now he's battling terrorists and gangsters just because he happens to be there. It gets worse though, he's not only battling terrorists and gangsters, the film ends up taking him all the way to Chernobyl. It's ridiculous. And this film takes this franchise in whole new directions, but not in a good way. It's totally unlike any of the ones that preceded it. It's like they made a generic action movie, and in order to sell tickets and to make its money back, they slapped on the Die Hard title. Because after all, big brands, they sell. Here's a little bit of trivia for you now as well. This is the only Die Hard film that's not some sort of adaptation. All the previous ones are either based on a book or some sort of journal or newspaper article. There's also the fact that this film is a good half an hour shorter than the rest of the Die Hard movies, but that's the only saving grace of this one. Die Hard 2 Die Harder is a quintessential example of if it's not broke, don't fix it. Why do you ask? Well, it's because it's essentially the same as the first film, only in a new location with new characters and new villains. This time around on Christmas Eve, Bruce Willis's John McClane is in an airport. They're being snowed in, terrorists rush in, they want to get a hold of someone special, it's all advertised on the news and so on. He's a big time politician guy, very controversial person, and of course John McClane clocks on and tries to save the day. This is not a bad film by any means, it's a huge step up from the previous one on this ranking. It's full of great character moments, good comedic beats, good action scenes. I really like the utilisation of the airport, I think they do a good job of that. And I think it's just a really fun action movie, if not all that original. Sadly, the villains are a little on the dull side, and it brings back certain characters from the original film just for the hell of it. Altogether though, a decent sequel. Die Hard with a Vengeance was the first in the franchise that tried to change the formula a little bit. It moved things away from Christmas into sunny New York City. It also added in Samuel L. Jackson as a sidekick buddy cop relationship duo, which really propelled this film at the time.
All right, 7 guys with 7 wives.
Shut up, McClane. I'm good at this.
7 guys with 7 wives.
Shut the fuck up, McClane. He said 7 wives with 7 sacks. 7 times 7 is 49. Now tell me the rest.
Oh, your sack with 7
Weren't
sacks.
you
with
listening?
7... Yeah, I was listening to hear every
The fuck
fucking
is wrong
thing.
with you?
Well, besides having a bad fucking hangover for one thing.
All right. 7 wives times 7, 49 with 7 cats. 7 times 49 is 343, right?
What are you asking me or telling me?
I'm telling you. 343 times 7 is 1, 0, 24. 2,401. What you got, right?
Yeah, that's what I got. Is that it? 2401?
That's it. Dial 555-2401. No, wait. It's a trick. It's a trick.
What do you mean?
I forgot about the man.
What, man? Fuck the man. We got 10 seconds
He said
left.
how many were going to St. Ives, right? The riddle begins as I was going to St. Ives. I met a man with 7 wives. The guy and his wives aren't going anywhere.
What are they doing?
Sitting in the fucking road, waiting on the moon. How the hell should I know?
Who's going to
McClane?
St. Ives then?
The guy. Just the guy.
plot involves the robbing of a bank, a ticking time bomb chase across New York, lots of puzzles, lots of action, lots of comedy, a good relationship between Samuel L. Jackson and Bruce Willis. It's a really good fun time. To top it off, the villain is played by Jeremy Irons, and as it turns out, he's related to the villain of the first film. Yeah, it's a little on the corny side, but it adds a bit of depth to his character and to the overall story. It feels like a sequel to the previous films, and ultimately it works out pretty well. Live Free or Die Hard, or as it's called here in the UK and in certain regions, Die Hard 4.0, but I refuse to call it Die Hard 4.0 because Live Free or Die Hard is a brilliant title for a film, and anything else is just unacceptable. Here we have an older Bruce Willis playing John McClane as a detective. He has to rescue this hacker and transport him across the United States when the US is under attack from a group of hackers. It brings the franchise right into the modern era. It continues the trend from Samuel L. Jackson now with Justin Long, getting a good buddy cop kind of relationship going on, good comedic moments, good character moments, good action scenes, one of which involves a Harrier jet that can't aim to save its life.
That's your best shot!
Yeah, some of the action scenes have to avoid believability just a little bit in order to be exciting and interesting, but it's still fun. The big downside of this movie is that it kind of turns Bruce Willis's John McClane into a bit of a superhero when previously he was just this everyday, normal cop. The bottom line is I really like this film and I don't think it gets the praise it deserves. Where it all started, the original Die Hard has to be number one. While A Good Day to Die Hard is one of the worst films ever made, the original Die Hard is one of the best action films ever made. So in terms of quality, it's really been all over the spectrum, this franchise. Iconic one-liners, iconic villains, iconic locations, a very likeable lead character, lots of good action scenes. This is just a great film, plain and simple.
Mr. Mystery Guest. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Unless you want to open the front door for me.
No, I'm afraid not. But you have me at a loss. You know my name, but who are you? Just another American who saw too many movies as a child. Another orphan of a bankrupt culture who thinks he's John Wayne, Rambo, Marshall Dillon.
I was always kind of partial to Roy Rogers, actually. I really like those sequin shirts.
Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Add in some social commentary and give a twist towards the villains and their motives, and you've got a really fun, enjoyable film, one of the best of all time in terms of the action genre. So there you have it, the Die Hard films ranked. If you disagree with my ranking, I'd be really interested to know why that is, because I think this is one of the more obvious, easier things to rank. So yeah, as long as A Good Day to Die Hard is at the bottom of your ranking, everything's going to be fine, because that film sucks. And if you've liked this video, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @the_Grant Burton. You can also leave a comments and feedback down below, and of course give me a thumbs up if you like. But more importantly, subscribe to my channel. The more subscribers I get, the more my channel can grow, the more content I can make. And we all love that content. Until next time though, thanks for watching.